And as I thought the Ian Garry situation couldn't get worse, here we are, one day later, after the whole Ian Garry thing just kind of blew up. I mean, seriously, my video got a lot of views, a lot of you guys were commenting, so thank you guys so much for the support. But we're here with a part 2. I didn't think that I was gonna be here till Monday. I thought, oh, that's the week. Ian Garry came out with a bombshell, and so did Sean Strickland, where basically Ian Garry is now suing Sean Strickland. Now, if you guys don't know the whole story up until now, I'm gonna do a little recap in the beginning, but I seriously suggest you guys check out my video yesterday talking about the Ian Garry situation for full context. I show clips there, I show a lot of things there that I think are very exciting. If you know nothing about the situation, go check that out. But before we get into this, I want to remind you guys to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. We're trying to hit 20K by the end of the year. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, so I know you're going to help me with that goal. And yeah, seriously, you guys have been killing it with the support, so I'm just happy with that. For those of you guys that don't know, Ian Garry is the undefeated Irishman. He's going to be competing on December 16th against Vicente Luque. And like I said, he's had kind of a weird UFC career. I felt like he started off with a lot of hate, and a lot of people started to like him again. And then when he fought in Boston, the whole Neil Magny fight happened, where he was very unsportsmanlike. Also accused Neil Magny of being a child abuser, which to me made absolutely no sense. I think you could clearly tell that Neil Magny is not a child abuser based on the clips, but like I said, I got into that in yesterday's video. But the MMA Guru made a video talking about Ian Garry and his wife and that whole situation. Like I said, I talk about it a lot in yesterday's video, but shortly after, Ian Garry's wife made tweets vaguely threatening to sue the MMA Guru. Now, although I made a video about it and talked about the whole situation, I didn't really talk about the lawsuit so much because I wasn't sure if it was really even going to happen. Is this just a threat to scare the MMA Guru? But after this, I do think that it's legit. So what did the MMA Guru expose about the Ian Garry situation? Well, Ian Garry and his wife, right? His wife is 15 years older than him. And Ian Garry's nutritionist right off the bat is his wife's ex-husband. Like I said, man, I said in yesterday's video, if this was a boyfriend situation, it would still be weird, but nowhere near as weird. They were so in love that they got married together, they got divorced, and now they're still together living in the same house. It's very strange. And for those of you guys that are saying that there is no evidence of Ian Garry's wife's ex-husband, you know, being the nutritionist, literally watch this part of the video. I didn't show this yesterday, but watch this part where Ian Garry literally is talking to her ex-husband.
I'm gonna cry with Curtis back.
You cry with him. Go cry in your ex-husband's arms.
my new boyfriend.
Or your new boyfriend.
But then the MMA Guru showed that she actually had a book that she wrote to teach other women how to be a wag, which basically is a woman that, you know, goes after a young athlete to take advantage of their money and their fame and all of the clout. Now, to me, I said in yesterday's video, it seemed pretty clear-cut. I mean, this is some damning evidence, right? Like, if someone was accusing me of murder and I was at the crime scene and I had a book called How to Get Away with Murder, I think you guys would kind of be a little suspicious about me. Be like, yeah, maybe that guy's a murderer. And I feel like it's kind of equivalent to this, if not more so, because she's done already half the crime, right? She married Ian Garry. She wrote a book about trying to come after young athletes. So we know that she did the marrying part. We don't know, I guess, technically for a fact if she's taking advantage of him, but I mean, this seems like we have everything but the actual confirmation. So it's pretty strange. I'm kind of having to talk about this a little bit carefully now because it does seem like there's been lawsuits being thrown left and right. Not trying to get involved in all of that. I'm a college student. I don't got that kind of money. I mean, seriously, let's watch this clip from her audiobook.
Wag style is something you can spot a mile away. It's a purposeful, attention-grabbing, polished look. Natural beauty isn't really necessary. Fake boobs, hair extensions, acrylic nails and dramatic false lashes envelop the look, and any girl can pull it off. But you're going to need a lot of TLC. And it's expensive.
Now that's absolute madness. Now, like I said, a lot of people have been reacting to this situation, including Sean Strickland, which I'm going to get into and tell you guys why Ian Garry is now suing Sean Strickland. Yes, this isn't clickbait. Absolutely insane development. Like, Ian Garry, I did not think that this situation would get worse, and I don't think it can get worse, but watch, I'm going to come on Sunday and talk even more about this. The MMA Guru tweeted, I thought that was a good point, said, anyone else remember when Ian Garry took Neil Magny's words out of context and painted him out to be a child abuser? Sounds like a lot of defamation to me. Although Chris Curtis did actually defend Ian Garry in a very long post, which I'm going to show up, but I'm not going to read the whole thing, but essentially what he's trying to say is that they probably have talked about it before, that everybody has a past, and nobody should really care what's going on in a relationship between two people because it's really none of their business. And he spends the rest kind of praising Ian Garry and praising his wife and saying that she's very supportive, which, you know, look, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but all I'm saying is, dude, this is pretty damning. Like, I don't blame anybody for coming to this assumption, and that's why I don't think that any of these lawsuits can really really stick, simply because I feel like this is a fair assumption, right? There is reason to believe this, and this isn't something that people are just making up, right? But we're gonna get to the juicy part, of course, because Sean Strickland, the UFC middleweight champion, of course he's gonna weigh in on this. This is literally his cup of tea. This is the type of thing he's gonna weigh on. You know, I never talk about fighters' girls, but fuck, I almost feel bad for Ian Garry at this point. Bro, your girl is a succubus. Sorry, bro, it happens to us all once. You got played. Hashtag wag. Hope you have a good prenup. And that seemed like a normal Sean Strickland response. Nobody really expected anything of this until Sean Strickland posted that actually Ian Garry DM'd him on Instagram. This comes after also Sean Strickland posted some things on Instagram regarding the whole situation.
Yes, I never talk about anybody's spouses, but this shit ain't right. It ain't fucking right. I gotta talk about it. Ian Garry, I remember when I met you, dude. It was in New York. You were this fine-ass girl. She had the little nipple covering. Now I'm finding out you're 26. She's fucking 40. The ex-fucking husband lives with you. You took the last name. Motherfucker, she wrote a book on how to be a wag. I didn't know what a wag was until now, dude.
But then Sean Strickland tweets, you put a man's mugshot on a shirt and to shame him, and then you say you're going to sue me. Learned how to be a fucking man. Were you born without a ball sack, or did your wife remove them? Coward. Utter fucking coward. And if you see these DMs, which is actually insane that Ian Garry would DM Sean Strickland of all people, like, if you're gonna DM anybody about a lawsuit and try to scare them, but Sean Strickland, dude, have you met this guy? This guy can't even comprehend a lawsuit if he couldn't afford one, but the guy probably can afford one. I mean, the dude is gonna be fighting Dricus Du Plessis in January, a main event, getting pay-per-view points. So we don't see what Ian Garry did send to him first, but Sean Strickland did say on Instagram in a recording that actually Ian Garry just threatened to sue him.
You just give me a call if you need me. And this motherfucker, he says, I'm gonna sue you if you don't fucking delete that. You're gonna sue me, motherfucker. He said that I was lying. Motherfucker, I ain't lying.
So here's a screenshot that we have with this altercation. Ian Garry says, and if you choose to continue to spread it, knowing from the source it's not true, then you're partaking in harassment and defamation of character. Smart move would be to take it down. Absolutely crazy that Ian Garry is so desperate that he's trying to DM fighters to take it down. Like, of course Sean Strickland is going to post this. Like, do you know nothing about Sean Strickland? And here's the most Sean Strickland response. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a guy who's trying to help you, cuck. I actually can't even read this with a straight face. Sue me. Get in line, motherfucker. There are a few in front of you. I would have respected you more if you threatened violence against me, but I guess it makes sense, cuck. Now, cuck, obviously, yeah, you guys know what it is. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Sean, what you're doing is spreading hate, lies, and harassment. I'm helping it. Now, a lot of people have been commenting things like, oh, Layla, get off Ian Garry's Instagram and things like that, which is pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. However, this reminds me a lot of the Logan Paul situation, because while a lot of people might criticize Ian Garry and say, oh, why are you suing Sean Strickland? At the end of the day, it is tough, right? Ian Garry is a fighter, right? And you could even make that argument about Logan Paul, even though I wouldn't really categorize him as a fighter since he's more of like a YouTube crossover boxing type of guy. But point is that these guys are going to get into a fight, right? But Layla isn't, right? Layla is never going to have that satisfaction of shutting the haters off, even though nobody really exposed, no fighter really exposed the whole situation with Ian Garry. Still, even, you know, getting a good knockout against Vicente Luque, that might help his reputation. Maybe people will forget it and people will be like, oh, fuck, Ian Garry is good, and that's what everybody will be talking about. But nobody's gonna stop talking about Layla. While I'm not defending her, and I actually think that she doesn't seem like a good person to me, so I'm not at all trying to defend her, but from her point of view, the only way to combat this is a lawsuit. And if any of you guys have been in, you know, relationships at all, you will know, like, what are you going to say? Is Ian Garry really going to say to his partner, hey, don't sue, it's gonna make me look bad? Like, you're just in a tough situation because you're either not supporting your partner or you look like a bitch, right? Those are his two options, so he's in a very tough situation. It was the same thing with Logan Paul. I said, even if Logan Paul doesn't want this lawsuit, which he probably didn't, Logan Paul has so much money, and potentially even Ian Garry, I don't know how much he makes, probably not as much as Logan, obviously. Logan has so much money that he doesn't care about a lawsuit. That doesn't do anything for him. The damage is already done. But for Nina, that's her way of getting satisfaction. And if anything, it hurts Logan more because people are looking at him as the bitch, and people are going to look at Ian Garry as a bitch if he does sue Sean Strickland, if they do sue MMA Guru. But let me know in the comment section below, do you think Ian Garry is to blame? How do you think this is going to affect UFC 296? I wouldn't be surprised. Ian Garry's the type of guy to pull out of UFC 296 because of this whole thing for mental stress. But like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Comment below. Comment one word to describe Ian Garry's wife, and I will respond to you guys. And I'll give you guys a surprise too. Also, check out my shorts. I always post shorts. I made one about the Dana White news drop that just came out between Anthony Smith and Kyle Roundtree, and also where UFC 298 is going to be taking place, so go check that out. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, and I'll see you guys in the next one.